Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the YouTube account and looking at our survey results. It seems like we're saving for the next hero overall. Very cool. What's going on, Mario? So we're going to be saving for the next hero. I'm thinking that's what we're going to do. Now overall we have 102,000 diamonds. Now we did pick up our regular pack, which was, I believe in this case, the Alpinus pack. So we do pick up those on a regular basis out of the shop. The reason being, for $20, you get 45,000 diamonds, which is still one of the absolute best purchases within AFK Arena, which is very cool to see. Now, we are in Dark Fairytales. So if you don't know, if you haven't gotten this far, looking at the world map, that is Chapter 50 is Dark Fairytales. 51 is the Defiled Grave. So we're going to make some more progression in here. That way I can chat to you guys. We've also been making a ton of progression in the King's Tower, guys. We are almost 1,000 floors in the Tower of Light. So remember, within the King's Tower itself, guys, this is an incredible place, not only to farm diamonds, but also to get essence. I have went up about 70 floors in the King's Tower within probably about the past week. I have really farmed the King's Tower. It does take a lot of time when you get into the multiple teams, but everything at this point is either 2 teams, 3 teams, and I think that might be as far as it goes. I'm not sure if this actually goes to 4 teams, but it's been very slow, steady progression. Now, when I really stress out of here, guys, this is the place you want to get your Stargazer scrolls. This is the place you want to farm your time emblems. It is super imperative if you ever want to build those heroes. This is the place you farm, guys. Even thinking where we start at, what, 120, 125 to get cards, we're almost 1,000 floors in each of these towers in. So again, a lot of progression in here. What's going on, Brian? Case is here as well. Dominic, is it Cranny? It looks like Cranny. Ben is here as well. Thank you guys for joining us. You want to keep the trend going. Oh, they're keeping the numbers going. What is going on, guys? All right, so I'm going to do some summons in here. We're going to continue. Again, the new Wilder hero, I was kind of on the fence with, going back and forth with if we were going to build her or if we were not. Big thing is we're not seeing her utility really anywhere outside of the King's Tower. With that being said, when you look at the King's Tower itself, the heroes in here are fundamentally working, so to add just another hero in here for the tower itself, I do not like building heroes that are specifically just for the tower. I feel like join our creator program. Oh, I should join the creator program in here to create some magic. But like I was saying, I don't want to go in there and I don't want to build a specific hero or an entire hero with the signature item, with the engraving, with the furniture, literally for just one game mode, which is just the King's Tower in this case. So we're going to wait. We're going to see. Finally made it here. What's going on, Richard? Can't wait to see the campaign push. Yeah, we're already into 50, guys. Like I said, pushing into 50. I know at this point it's going to take a lot of retries to make progression in the campaign, but that's exactly what we're looking to do. It is a point where retries really make a big difference because you've made a lot of progression within the content. Even looking at the level deficiencies, it's pretty significant at this point. Let's go ahead and open these stones, guys. We have 11 elite stones. Boom. Hopefully, look at that. We get the original version of Aziz. We get Edwin, which we can use. We got Mizoth in there, so double. And I believe Kayleen, if she's not already at 5 stars, that is a very solid pull. I am very happy. We got double hypogens out of there, and we got Edwin, which we need. But you're at the point where building tower heroes is where you're at. Kind of Dark Lucifer, but what you're going to end up doing, and this is kind of the way that I see it, is we're not building specific tower heroes, because what's going to happen is if I go through and I do build the new Wilder hero, again, just for the Wilder tower. So if I go through and I build out Trishia and I invest in her, then a new hero drops that has a lot of utility in a bunch of different game modes, a lot of different places, like we've seen over here with actually Damia. If I'm spending my time and efforts building those tower heroes, then a hero like Damia drops. I'm not going to have the resources to really build her at all, because all of the resources are tied up in those specific tower heroes. That's the big thing, Dark Lucifer, is if I had an unlimited amount of resources, yeah, go ahead, build everybody, build them up, doesn't make a difference. Because we're still pretty limited to the resources we have, and even a lot of the heroes, Crescio we don't have at 5 stars, Guineas we don't have at 5 stars, a lot of heroes, and look at that, there's Trishia, guys. So we did get an unlock with literally one stone that we had for our elite stone. So there is the single one. But like I was saying, to put a lot of time and effort and resources into one specific hero for one specific game mode, I will wait to the next one. That's really the big thing. Wait till the next one. Thanks for all the good info for new players. Oh, you're welcome, Marco. What's going on, Raphael? Question: have all of the important E30s, or would you E30 between Crescio, Amelia, and Tamaris? Honestly, when you look at some of those heroes, so you have to look at the ability. So the E30 for Amelia is really strong. This E30, this is why I E30'd. Right here, you're going to have the energy outside of the zone that she has. Amelia's E30 is good. When you look at the other two in there, when you look at Crescio, Crescio is a hero that has to be built just for the simple fact that he is a damage dealing ranger, which means the more stats you stack behind him, the more that you actually build him out. I took him to a plus 30 as well. Look at this attack, guys. This effect can be triggered 3 times. The plus 30 for Crescio takes this to 7 times. So literally you are over doubling the effectiveness of this hero based on the E30, which is huge, guys. This is the reason why you want to build him up much higher. If you don't build him up much higher, the damage is not going to be there. In addition, I built him up higher because, of course, the Mauler Tower, as you've seen from my towers, the Mauler Tower is always the one that is very, very difficult to make progression in, where a lot of other towers, I don't have the same problem. And that's partly because of the Awakened heroes. We only have Brutus carrying in here. There are not a lot of other heroes within the Mauler faction specifically that really carry damage-wise. We have Kren, we have Brutus, we have Crescio. There are a lot of... You can fill in the slots with some of the other heroes, but for very high-built, high-utility heroes, they don't really have that many. That's kind of the problem that we find, Darren. And then Tamaris, of course, I have Tamaris at E30 as well. He is right down here. And the big thing with this is the survivability. So what happens with Tamaris is if you're not building him up a little bit higher because of the ability to actually pull in all of these enemies, if you don't have Tamaris built up a little, Tamaris is going to die, and he is going to die very, very fast if you don't have him built up, because he brings all of the targets together and he doesn't have a very high damage mitigation factor in there. But you do have to have him live a little bit. That way he can buff up the entire team. So all of them, yeah, I would probably go with Amelia first, would be my first thought between those. And then probably either Crescio or Tamaris, Darren. Either one, I would go. Optimal, Tamaris or Moriel. Tamaris. Guys, Tamaris, of course, is the furniture. The big reason for that is the enthusiasm piece, but with Tamaris's furniture, it is right here, guys. Each stack of enthusiasm Tamaris has increases the attack rating of all allied heroes by 4%. That is right. When you couple it with the signature item, it can go up to 10, which means Tamaris can actually provide a 40% buff to the entire team. That is the reason why you're seeing him in the Twisted Realm, in the Cursed Realm, in the Nightmare Corridor, in the Treasure Scramble. You're seeing Tamaris showing up everywhere, because similar to what we see with Demia, he is a really, really big buffer, and that's the big thing. It is a very, very big buffer in there. Yeah, I would definitely, Ben, I would go with Tamaris just for the buffing aspect. That is the reason why I built him out. Have to have the 9 of 9 furniture, or the utility goes down incredibly, incredibly fast if you don't have the furniture built in there. My twin is almost at E30. Yeah, twins are good, Raphael. You have to build them up higher when they start dying out. That is really the big thing. I currently have a Legendary Plus Awakened Sola. Should I build her out now or go for Belinda? No, honestly, I would go for Belinda. The big thing is when you have the Awakened version of Solus, only at Legendary Plus, Solus fundamentally is still going to work incredibly, incredibly well, even without having the complete build out. While the Awakened version of Belinda, the higher that you build her, the better she is going to perform, period. If you want to really make her the best in slot in all of the teams that she is, she has to be built out. And again, when you look at Twisted Realm, Cursed Realm, Nightmare Corridor, Treasure Scramble, PvP, even looking campaign formations, Tower, She is literally the best in slot in every part of AFK Arena, at least in one of the teams. Imagine ever having Baden, Brutus, and Thane. Yeah, exactly. The Awakened Heroes. Had to use all my resources and power level to 468, and the Ranger Mage support trees to 65. That's pretty good, Qrak. Just continue building those out. Is Ascended Twins worth it? Mine are at Mythic. So the big thing with the Twins, guys, is similar to what Dark Lucifer said. If you're going into campaign mode, so if you're utilizing the Twins and they're dying out very fast, that is the time, Dark Lucifer, that you need to build them up further. That is the big thing. So if you're going into game modes and let's say you're getting 30 seconds, 45 seconds in, whatever it may be, if they're dying out before the duration of the fight, that is the point you have to build them higher. You'll get to the point of building them to the plus 30 signature item. And when you look at the signature item, when you look at the furniture, a lot of it is the damage mitigation. So right here, the shield duration goes up. It is about keeping the Twins alive. We've always had the funny saying that dead heroes do no damage, which we've said a lot. Same with this, is you can't get the buff, you can't get the ultimate, you can't get the linking. Nothing works if the Twins are an absolute dead hero. Do you speak so much? What do you mean, Abezer? Abezer? What's going on, Little Slayer? Good morning, guys. Asta is here as well. My Awakened Brutus is 6 upgrades from 40 SI. The 40 SI, guys, the higher SIs are expensive. That's the reason why, even when you look at Belinda, when you look at Brutus, I keep them at 30. So Brutus is at a plus 35 SI rate here because of this haste buff. Now, there are very, let me stress, few heroes that I would buy or that I would build past the plus 30, because again, the sheer cost of them is crazy. So if you take a hero from 30 to 40 for the signature item, you're essentially cutting out 3 other heroes with a plus 30 signature item, because that is the cost of emblems. Now, with the Awakened Heroes, with Belinda, again, very few heroes that I would take higher than the plus 30. Belinda would be more. Brutus is one. Scarlet, I think I took up a little bit higher with the furniture. We actually went over the 9 of 9 furniture. The high damage dealers, of course, are super reliant in the stats that they have. The stronger that you're building them out, the higher that you're building them out, the better they are going to perform in AFK Arena, period. That is really one of the big things, is not only the survivability aspect, but the damage aspect in there. The higher you build them out, the better they're going to perform, because they're going to be putting out a lot more damage than if they weren't built that high. Building the Twins from the Nightmare Shop. Yeah, Qrak, now that the Twins are in the Nightmare Shop, they're the big priority. Just build them little by little by little. Tarnos, I still never built. And a lot of players kind of always ask why we've never built Tarnos. Tarnos, yeah, we've never gotten around to build. He's really good in the treasure scramble, but that is really the only place, the PvP aspect, that we're seeing him. There might be a point where I build Tarnos, but I think we have 2 copies of him right now. He's just a hero, again, that I do not PvP within this game, short of the treasure scramble because of the rewards, but I have not built him out. And a couple other heroes, Olgath, we ended up building out. And then, of course, all of our Dims we've gotten out. We built them out as well. What kind of upgrade do you expect after unleashing the Awakened Heroes? The big thing, Case, with the Awakened Heroes is you have to build them. That's one of the biggest thing, is all of the Awakened Heroes, short of the Awakened version of Aziz, require a very high build. So to unlock all of their skills and abilities, it's a 30960, kind of goes hand in hand with them. We know, and again, it hasn't been confirmed yet, that the Awakened version of Sophia is going to be the next hero that is coming. And again, it's going to require that 30960, which is the reason, if you look at my mats that I'm sitting on right now, and back to Dark Lucifer, 4,500 for the elemental cores. That's going to take the new Sophia up to a plus 60 engraving. 3,750 for the elemental shards, which of course is going to take 30 and 60 engraving. Between there, 252 chests, which means we're 48 short of taking Sophia to that 300. And then of course the Poe coins, we are just sitting on Poe coins to use so we can build out the Awakened version of Sophia. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we are going to get there. All right, guys, starting in 52, this is going to give me the ability, again, to chat with you guys, to go through a lot of the content. I'm just going to follow Sono Rez. I think he's 2 or 3 stages ahead of us at this point, but I'm going to let it go. Should I get Lucretia to 1 star? Yes, Noah. The big thing with Lucretia is the big thing with her is the engraving as well as the signature item. Lucretia has so much utility. Even today, Lucretia is still used, again, in a lot of content in AFK Arena, which is the reason I would absolutely still recommend, even when it went to the Garrison, if you guys seen the video last night, the Garrison factor, Ainz still has a lot of utility within AFK Arena. Maybe not as much as he, once had, but Ainz still does have a lot of utility if you don't have all of the other heroes built, which again, it is huge. It's very, very expensive, very time consuming to build out all of the heroes, but you get there eventually, guys. It again, just takes time. Awakened Thalia doesn't increase her crit on SI, only at 40. I found that out when I reached 34. Oh yeah, that's super expensive, Lance. Like I said, it's I think like 1,050. If I remember correctly, I think it's like 1,050 to build them out. Yeah, Jerry. That's what a lot of people are kind of saying, and it looks like we have a new subscriber. Sholomo sub to the channel. I didn't even see it. I didn't hear it. I don't know if my sound might be off. The sound actually might be off. I have been doing a ton of stuff with different content and everything. But brand new subscriber, guys. That is one. We shoot for 5 every single stream. Thank you for subbing to the channel. Basically, save everything for a new hero. That is the way that I do it, Dark Lucifer. So the big thing is, and that's even the reason when we look at the Awakened Heroes, why I say so often, save your cards till you have enough to build up the new Awakened Hero. Because essentially, even looking where we're at today, if we get, or essentially if the Awakened version of Sophia drops, and she is another Awakened version of Aziz where nobody uses and there's not a reason at all to really build her, perfect. You can look back, you can build any other Awakened hero that you need, because at that point, the Awakened version of Sophia, you're not going to build. Now, on the flip side of that, if she drops Dark Lucifer and she is just absolutely broken like Belinda, perfect. We have the ability to go ahead and build her because we have the resources to build her up, which is the really big thing. That is why I was saving all of those resources. We had the new Wilder drop with Trishia that dropped. Overall, not going to build her at this point. There's not a huge reason to build her. And I don't even know why they have Arden in this formation. I'm going to have to ask Sono Rez about that, why Arden's just hanging up here on level 1, which is pretty funny. But overall, like I said, when they drop a hero like Trishia that nobody is not seeing a lot of utility and not seeing a lot of build, that is perfect, guys. That is literally ideal because that's a hero we don't have to build. Hope to get 600 time gauges together at 422. You should. So remember, guys, when the new hero is released, so when the Awakened version of Sophia is released, you're going to get 50 for the hero. We usually get 30, 35, maybe even 40 for the actual release when they release all the skills, all the things of that nature. And then it usually comes with a voyage. So when the hero drops, you usually pick up another 100 right there, Chris, because of the new hero drop. So again, that's about 100 of the time gauger scrolls that you'll get out of there, or the time emblems that you're going to get out of there, which again is pretty cool. Now, all Negrez in this formation, still rocking it out. When will Scarlet drop off? So honestly, John, Scarlet doesn't drop off. Right here we are in chapter 50, and you can see Scarlet is used right here. The big thing also with Scarlet is also one that still does have, again, a lot of utility in different game modes. So Scarlet is going to be the best in slot, still used in some of the Twisted Realm, still used in the Cursed Realm, still used in a lot of different content in AFK Arena. Scarlet is still going to be used. Absolutely. Do we know anything about the new debuff? Not right now. I know what the debuff is. We've seen what the debuff is. We just have to see exactly how it is going to be used, like what the utility with the new Treasure Scramble debuff is, and see what impact it is. Most of the teams, in my opinion, are probably going to stay about the same from what we've seen. But overall, we're going to have to wait and see exactly what kind of comes of it. I'm almost caught up with the Wandering Balloon. Yeah, Wandering Balloon is huge. Guys, the Wandering Balloon gives you an incredible amount of resources. That is the big reason why you want to stay up with the Wandering Balloon. Now, it seems like right now that we're not seeing any more Wandering Balloon adventures. I don't know if it's something that they're going to be bringing back in the future, if we're going to start seeing more of them. But it seems like right now that we're not seeing any more. They haven't been releasing them in the patch notes. The GOAT is... Oh, thank you, Zach. The GOAT is streaming. I love it. No wonder I can't build new heroes. I'm focused on building everything. And that's what, so again, Dark Lucifer, that's kind of what I do, is I save resources. I'm not running back to build Guineas. I'm not running back to build a bunch of heroes. I'm just saving resources. And that's why I've said from the beginning, guys, I have literally a list of heroes. Like what we've kind of talked about before, I have a giant list of heroes that I build, that I go through systematically and build a hero one at a time, over and over and over until I get all of them built up to where I want to, because I don't spread resources. That is probably, as a new player to AFK Arena or a player that's been playing AFK Arena for an incredible amount of time, if you spread resources in this game, you're going to have 10 half-built heroes, which are not going to work at all. Still unfair, though, if you pay 2K tickets for 3 Awoken and you get like 6 of that price. Not sure what you mean, Shadow. Yeah, Scarlet doesn't drop off. Moneymaker after 4. Oh, you finally got the 30K diamonds. Congratulations, Moneymaker. That is awesome to see. Every time I see those diamonds drop, guys, it's super exciting. And there we go. So we finished out that stage 50-5. Let me hop over. I want to do some of my regular scroll summons, see if we can pick up some of the stuff in there. We did a couple with the stones, which again, I'm really happy about. Gave us a copy of Aziz, which is awesome. He is my last one, except now they added Olna and they added Mortis in there. So there is my 3 stars, and I believe we have an extra copy of him right there. So that'll take him to 4. We have Lucretia maxed out. We, of course, have Zolrath maxed out. We're starting to get these maxed out. Even when it comes to Frampton, guys, I've been buying the copies of Frampton out every single time. We're going to have him maxed out. And then, of course, in here, we already have 4 maxed out, including Wukong and Flora. We're going to continue building them, guys. Tailene, the original Tailene, is almost completely built out as well. So hopefully, again, these we're going to save. Kind of went back and forth. I didn't know if we were going to use some of these cards to continue building up some of the Awakened heroes. Temple of Time, we're at 257, so still a little bit behind there. But we do have a couple scrolls in here to do some summons, which is awesome to see. Would you prioritize getting a hero to 9 of 9 furniture when you have the red cards, or getting at least all the heroes on your wish list to 3 of 9? Steven, it really makes a difference, the hero. That is the big thing. Like we were talking earlier with Tamaris. Tamaris's effectiveness is not there by any means until you have that 9 of 9 furniture. Again, it really makes a difference on the hero that you're building. There are some that work incredibly well at the 3 of 9. There are a lot of heroes that require just straight up the 9 of 9 furniture to even have the viability or the utility within the game. You have to build them up much higher. So we'll pick up some rares right there, and it looks like we have 4 scrolls that we've kind of picked up. This one, again, I was kind of saving. I know we got 1 copy. We could do the diamond summons for Tricia. That would give us essentially her ascended at that point, but we still have 10 more days. So next week we might see exactly what's coming up, because my anticipation, guys, is we are going to see the awakened version of, and there's Edwin again, the awakened version of Sophia should be released this week. That is the big thing, guys. We're going to see exactly where Sophia comes up. Again, she should be released this week. And look at that. A copy of the twins. Very nice, guys. I love when we get the Celestials and the Hypogean heroes essentially for free. I love it. The rest of this, again, we're just going to kind of sit tight. Same with the poke coins at this point. I'm just going to sit tight on 77,000 poke coins. Reason is with the awakened version of Sophia, we can drop her in here. I did put the new hero in here, but we can drop her out. We can drop the awakened version of Sophia in here, save up our poke coins for another week, and then see exactly what we can do at that point to build up some of the additional heroes with the poke coins we get. And again, I'm hoping and I'm banking, fingers crossed, that we are going to have a very, very strong showing with the awakened version of Sophia. That's what I'm thinking. It seems like if they go caster with her, that we're going to have a very strong hero. To the twins, there we go, guys. 3 stars on the twins, just building out everybody like we were just talking about. Use red cards. That's the reason, like we said earlier with the red cards, you have to make sure, guys, that you're using them on the heroes that need the furniture, that are very, very important and very vital. And I think Sono Rez did pass. I think he's on 50-4. I think we just passed Sono Rez. So big shout out to him. I know last time he sent us a message and said, hey, just passed the end of the campaign. See if you can catch up. Now there is Thorin. I don't want to do Thorin, guys. 778, but that is a way higher. It's crazy when you go between them two. Either it's 100 levels less or 100 levels more. Kind of stuck in 3144 because of the second stage. Crush the first parts with Rem, but I can't win the second part because of Scarlet plus Damon. I mean, chapter 31 with this, so you're starting to get into 2 teams. The big thing, Noah, if you've gotten to the point, the really, really big, easy carry in there, and if you're in chapter 31, is building out Lucretia. Lucretia is broken, and Lucretia will be your second team by herself. Lucretia will literally go through and be your second team by herself. I really advise at that point building out Lucretia. In addition, when you look at the Hypo Tower, Noah, Lucretia will be there. Lucretia will literally run the Hypo Tower by herself, which again is kind of broken, but it shows you the dominance that we still see with Lucretia. It's kind of crazy. But this is 760. See 760 working there. We're at 752. So what is the one lower? So that is 760. Horn King is 716. See, we have like a 40 level. I'm going to go with Dastardly Dorgan. Let's see if we can get this to work, guys. Again, I want to just let it run. If I have Ascended Scarlet with 5 stars and I get another copy from Purple Stones. So there's really a couple things you can do. You probably don't have enough heroes to actually start recycling them. You'll get to a point where you'll recycle them, but as of right now, you can use them for food. You can actually use the additional copies of Scarlet as food to really go into to fill out some of the other heroes. It works incredibly well. You'll get to the point where you'll use them as food, and you will use them as food. It can and will happen when you miss certain heroes for months. Yeah, like what Shadow said, there are certain heroes that you will miss. The big thing that I recommend, guys, and I cannot stress this enough, is making sure that you are using your wish list, that you're using your friends in there to borrow heroes. Borrowing heroes are huge. It is absolutely huge, guys. I have done it with the Awakened Heroes since the Awakened Heroes came out. Making sure you're borrowing heroes that you don't have. It is massive. On my main, I managed to fully max out 2 heroes, and then Scarlet was second. I have absolutely 0 regrets about maxing. Yeah, Scarlet is awesome. Scarlet has an RNG factor, Richard, but overall Scarlet does work incredibly well in formations. And even game modes like this, guys, it is RNG. When you start getting into high level deficiencies, we're what? Almost 300 plus level deficiency. This is going to take time. This is the reason why we let it run, guys. It is going to take time to get this done, and I know that. I'm well aware that this is going to take a lot of times. It is going to take a lot of updates. Hardest thing is poke coins. Yes, Kraken Crunch, 100% agree with you. The poke coins are incredibly difficult when they put 10 heroes in the wish list. I would love to see less. Watching your videos nonstop. Thanks, man. Ben, investing in Scarlet, kind of overwhelming. Yeah, I know, John, welcome back. The new heroes putting out every 2 weeks, it's kind of insane on how fast the heroes are coming out. What are my thoughts on Demia? Demia is an absolute build, guys. Demia has made her way into every single formation that we have. Again, when you look at the Twisted Realm, the Cursed Realm, the Nightmare Corridor, the Treasure Scramble, even campaign formations, even the Tower, Demia is absolutely what Shadow said is a must-have. Super, super important because she gives a 50% buff, which is kind of tough to see. But yeah, Demia is huge. Any leaks about the future events or updates? There's a couple that are coming. Third Eye, the circus is coming back, which brings the magician's hat, which that is coming up, I believe, in a week. So we're going to see actually 3 events around that. I believe there is another event that is coming that was on AFK Inside around Rowan. There's a couple events they have planned that we have very, very limited resources on. But yeah, that's some of the heroes. You have Vulcan. Yeah, Vulcan is awesome. Guys, Vulcan and I talk quite a bit about not only AFK Arena, but also cryptocurrency, things of that nature. Yeah, I have known Vulcan, God, for 4 years, going on 5 years at this point. It's kind of crazy, just like a lot of you guys. What do you prefer to stargaze when you're done with Lucretia and Alna? I would make sure, Yoshi, that you have the twins and Mortis built up at least a little bit because they're going to be very, very important as the buffers. Can I send you a message on Twitter? Absolutely, Moneymaker. I send out some information on Twitter, also do YouTube, or not YouTube, Facebook. Some of it goes out with the videos. Yeah, definitely send me a message. I'll be sure to check it out. But yeah, stargazing after Lucretia, after Alna, the twins, even looking at Demia would be a really good build. Vithiel is a really good build. There's a couple of heroes in there that are really, really important for the Stargazer just because they have an incredible amount of utility. And I might even almost categorize Demia almost in the same of where we're seeing the twins and we're seeing Mortis built because she is bringing so much of... She's bringing so much to the buffing side, that makes her really imperative in a lot of formations. Someone returning to AFK, which order should I upgrade the Elder Tree? Marcin, it depends on your heroes. You always want to upgrade the Elder Tree to 25 first. So the overhanging arc, 25 on each level is where you want to literally unlock all 3 abilities. And then I focus on building out the damage trees. So when you look at the mage tree, the ranger tree, also the warrior tree, look at the heroes that you're using, look at the heroes that you're kind of carrying with, and then I would go ahead and build those out. Any word on the Dimensional Tower? Nothing. Guys, it has been absolutely quiet with the Dimensional Tower. I was hoping that we'd have some good news by now with the additional dimensionals that we have. As of right now, absolutely nothing, which is kind of weird because after they said for such a long amount of time that Yennefer and Geralt were not coming into AFK Arena, that they were not going to be in the garrison. Then we finally see them in the garrison, which is awesome to see that they're in there. But Dimensional Tower, unfortunately, nothing at this point. What's going on, Karma? Thank you for joining us for the stream. Since Cursed Realm is one of only 2 game modes where I can never get bait to keep building. Yeah, most of the heroes that you're using in one are used in a lot of other ones, Shadow. Even as a lot of players free to play, I know free to play AFK Arena put some videos up on Reddit that were the top 1% of the Treasure Scramble. Killing all 6 bosses in both game modes as a free to play player was huge. Borrow Scarlet and Awaken Baden and Solus, literally hyper carry. Yeah, and that's the big thing, Karma, is make sure you know who you can borrow. That is the big thing, guys, is knowing exactly the heroes that you can borrow in there. Arfan, gotcha, BG. What? I'm not sure what you mean. Gotcha, bang. Oh, what's going on, Shady? Faction Tower progress. Yeah, when you get to a point, Shadow, I 100% agree. It is tough. It is tough. Even now, as I might make a couple Tower floors, and I'm talking probably 2 or 3. When the towers are up, it just takes time. It really does take time. Got my morning coffee here as well. Yeah, the Magician's Hat is coming up pretty soon, guys. I believe, again, probably global servers a week and a half. The Magician's Hat is going to be back, which is cool. So, yeah, there's no beast in this comp. The Thor and Cheese, guys, is one of the absolute most fickle formations that you will ever see. Even in here, a lot of players do not run beasts in here. A lot of players will not run the heroes with gear, things of that nature. So essentially what happens that has to happen in here is for Thorin to get enough damage, Moriel has to cast the layout. I mean, you could go with Grassy Orb in here. You have to, again, the Grassy Orb, any of the beasts in here can throw off the Thorn Cheese in its entirety, which is kind of crazy to think, but it can, even with the critical, with the Grassy Orb doing a little bit of damage. Again, now you're going to have Thorin die at a different position because the Grassy Orb is doing damage in the formation. It's weird how fickle this is, but if you look right there, that's what we need, guys. So we need Moriel's damage to be on top of Thorin, or this isn't going to work. And again, boom, it's right there in the middle. See, if it triggers Thorin early, it's not going to work. Thorin has to move forward and then get Moriel's stars. The combination there. There we go. So it's on him. Need an ult. There it goes. Boom. 1. Ult number 2. Almost took it out. Very close. If Moriel's star, if her ability is off, it's not going to produce enough damage for Thorin. It's kind of crazy. It is absolutely kind of crazy. If I already have 5-star Ulna, should I go for Mortis or Zolrath in the Challenger store? Honestly, Mortis doesn't have to be built up very high. If you even take Mortis to Mythic with a signature item, Zolrath has to have the furniture. We talked about the furniture earlier. Zolrath has to have that 3 of 9 furniture, or Zolrath has 0 utility. You are not going to find any utility in Zolrath without the furniture. The hero doesn't work without it. But again, if you don't have Mortis built up a little bit, you're not going to have the utility with Mortis either, which is the reason you're going to have to build them both up a little bit to get it to work. We can't get a dimensional tower because we have 2 little dimensionals. So the big thing, Karma, is right now I believe we have, what, 18? I think it's like 18 dimensionals if you've caught them all. If they kept it to 2 teams, you could theoretically make a lot of progression in there. And even with the dimensionals that we have in both the Labyrinth and the Challenger shop, you would have no problem making a lot of progression in the dimensional tower because of the heroes you have. And I was hoping we'd get that one, guys. That one was close. Managed to avoid rolling Blade Ridge 10 times in a row. Yeah, level 12 Resonance, that is awesome. Honestly, Shadow, that is really, really good. Any update on Tamaris on the free-to-play account? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean, Alex. Rem and Amelia and Albedo. Yeah, exactly. That's what most players have been seeing, Karma, is when you look at the Rem Amelia, so Amelia with the crowd control, Rem with the damage, which of course is going to give the energy regeneration, Albedo in there for the buffer. That is the combination you need together, and it works incredibly well. Yeah, like I said, the beast we can put in here, but overall, it can throw off the formation. That's kind of the tough part in here. But I know the RNG factor in here is huge. Later, you need to fire Fatty in the Thorn comp to get him to... Oh, yeah, we need the fire Fatty. We still haven't built up a little bit. And again, this is the RNG, guys. It is the RNG. Did you see the visual guide of characters involved in the Void? They make mention of Trishia. Yes, that's what I was wondering. How they're going to... I seen that visual guide this morning, Shady. I don't know how they're going to incorporate it in different areas, or if it's going to be something that is going to be added to the game. I don't know if it's going to be another place you can travel, things of that nature. It's going to be interesting to see how much Lilith, how much AFK Arena plays into the Void aspect of what they're doing. Long term, we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see exactly what they're thinking and how they're going to do this. I have to roll 2 more bags of spice to unlock 12 beast resonance. That's awesome. Honestly, Shadow, to get the 12 beast resonance, it's a game changer, guys. A lot of players, I feel like, discount the beast within AFK Arena. They really do add another level to this game. Honestly, there is another level that is added from them. What are your thoughts on the new Awakened priority? I would say Belinda, Solus, Athalia. Yeah, Joseph, absolutely. So the Awakened version of Belinda, still the number one priority that we see. Solus, yes, absolutely. Remember, Solus is still the only one that is the support hero. That is the only Awakened support hero that we have seen at this point. So hopefully we get another one. Athalia, Matria, Baden, Brutus. You could go any way with those. So what I did tier list wise is Belinda is still the priority, guys. Belinda has the most utility anywhere. Honestly, anywhere. Out of any of the current heroes we have running in AFK Arena, Belinda's utility is still literally through the roof. Solus has a lot of utility because of being the support hero. Even looking in a lot of different formations, you are still going to find the Awakened version of Solus because of the support aspect. When you look at Athalia, Matria, Baden, and Brutus, they're all kind of on the same level. So if you build any of those out, they're going to work incredibly well in their own. And I thought we won that one. They're going to work in their own game modes. Athalia, of course, with the tower. Same with Baden and Brutus, Matria. They're working in a lot of different game modes in a lot of different capacity. But most of them, when you start looking at multiple teams within the Cursed Realm, the Nightmare Corridor, even the Treasure Scramble, most of those heroes are built if you're using them. Now, one thing to remember to really put into thought, Joseph, is the Awakened version of Athalia is brand new, where Brutus is almost, a year going on, almost 2 years old. So a lot of times with the power creep, you're going to see Athalia and Matria having a lot more utility just for the simple fact that they're newer heroes in AFK Arena. It is kind of what we're seeing. Brutus still carries me. Yeah, Brutus will carry, guys. Brutus is incredibly, incredibly strong. I have Grez at Legendary, but I'm already collecting furniture for him. Do you think it's worth it? Or should I try furniture for someone like a Star, whom I have Mythic? Grez you're going to need. So even looking at formations right now, Noah, Grez you're going to use. Grez has so much utility in all different game modes. You're going to build Grez. I would keep Grez. Grez is one I would absolutely keep in the wish list, even early, because you're going to use them. You're going to use Grez quite a bit. Beast or whale items probably meant to give whales some separation from the rest of us. Could be, but ultimately, guys, if you're looking at the whales, if you're looking at the heavy spenders, they're always going to have everything. It doesn't really make a big difference. Final question, Ainz versus Scarlet. I like Scarlet more, John. Honestly, out of the two, Scarlet has the ability to put out so much damage so fast. That is one of the very big things, is Scarlet will put out burst damage so fast. It's kind of crazy, which is the reason why Scarlet is still being used, again, in a lot of game modes. We're not seeing Ainz used in as many, but he still does have utility if you have him and you don't have a lot of the other heroes built. Ainz will still work, but out of those two, I would pick Scarlet. I would absolutely choose Scarlet. Power creep has become so absurd. I need to buy stuff like emblem boxes or cores for diamonds. I've started buying the power creep, and there we go. Oh no, Kaz dodged. Guys, if that would have hit Kaz would have been done. I've done the same. So I haven't been buying the cores out of the shop, Shadow, but I've been focusing and buying a lot of the baits. So I know that the baits are pretty expensive in the store, but I've been buying the baits out of there because I'm trying to hit that level 15 resonance, and I need so many baits. If I can cut a couple weeks off the summons by buying baits every day, I've really been doing it. But again, just like you said, you can't afford to buy both. There's going to be a point. Oh, and look at that. We almost had it done again. but there's going to be a point where either you're not going to do any summons at all, or you're going to buy baits or cores, and I'm hoping that we get some solid events in here. Even looking at a few, guys, when we look at the ability to get more poke coins, the ability to get more diamonds, you know, when you look at the Isle of Gold event, they just need to continue giving us more places to get more rewards because we have so many heroes. We're at like 130, 140. I don't even know the count anymore. Heroes in the AFK Arena. There are so many heroes in this game right now, guys. It is kind of incredible to see. I just hope the global version of the Temple Rift provides better loot than the one we have. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the Temple Rift. And guys, a lot of players, even free-to-play players, there we go, guys. Thorin gets it done. He always does. Thorin, again, we know the level deficiency. We know this is going to take a while. But Thorin, just like that, guys, Thorin got it done on that one, which is awesome. That is the cheese in action. Yeah, the Temple Rift, I'm going to be very, very interested to see what they do, or if they make changes, if they make updates to the Temple Rift. A lot of players super happy about the overhaul, the changes that they made in there. A lot of players super, super disappointed and upset with the changes to the Temple Rift. Honestly, my opinion, even running it on, you know, the YouTube, the pay to win account, even playing as the free to play, if you're consistently going in there, you can almost get all the loot, or you can get all of the loot, is what we've seen. There's been a lot of players, an incredible amount. And if you've seen the Temple Rift guide I put out, every single team, every single formation in there was already past, at or past level 300. So it really needs to make progression. They will introduce a new growth system. That's what they need. Honestly, Camille, is they need something that makes some of the older heroes cheaper to acquire. That, again, with having so many heroes in AFK Arena, there needs to be a point where we have an easier time to build some of these heroes. It's honestly, because when you look even here, for instance, in this formation, a lot of players are not doubling back to build Namora for the Beguile. They're not coming back and building Lorzen. They're not building Rain. There are so many heroes released on such a consistent 2-week basis that a lot of players don't have the time, don't have the effort, don't have the resources to really go back and build. That's one of the very, very tough things, guys, is to double back on heroes that are older heroes. That's why I'm saying some of the older heroes, either the reduction of the cost of resources for older heroes, the acquisition cost of resources possibly for older heroes, there has to be something. There has to be something to make it easier. Even if they did swap scrolls on a regular basis, even if we seen something of that nature, it would be pretty cool to see. I reset until I got good beacons. Yeah, that's one of the big things, Dominic, is it does take time. I mean, new system like signature item, furniture, so new. Oh, so building heroes will become even harder? No, they can't make them harder. Honestly, if they make it harder, players are just going to drop out. If they make the game so challenging that you can't build the heroes that you need to make progression, yeah, they're just going to start dropping out in their entirety. Players will just start quitting if they make it that hard. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's what I would like to see. I would like to see, like I said, either them giving us an easier method to build some of the heroes, or a way to reset some of the heroes that we no longer use. If you're sitting on a fully built, original version of Belinda, if you built out Chimera, if you built out a lot of these heroes, even if they gave it every month, maybe one every quarter, to literally reset one hero back to nothing would be amazing. It would be absolutely amazing. They need to allow us to reset some of the signature items on stuff. Yeah, and that exactly what Elizabeth said. That is what we need, guys. We need the ability to reset some of the resources that we used. even if we reset it for a lesser amount, so let's say it's 300 red chests to build out a hero from a plus 20 to a plus 30. If I reset the hero, it gives me 200 back. I would even be happy versus having a hero at a plus 30 signature item that has 0 utility that I do nothing with versus a hero that I can actually reset and get some of those resources back. Now, one thing about this, guys, a lot of times if Lucretia is dying out fast, just like we seen the pet in the first one, you can change it off of the artifact, and I've actually swapped it to the Shroud, and then we've made a lot of progression utilizing the Shroud instead of the other one, because of course this gives her the shielding at the beginning, which means hopefully that Lorzen will die first, but again, it has an RNG factor in there. Can I ask, what level should my Wing Lion be before I choose to let it over my level 13 Dreary Ball? Yeah, for the Wing Lion and the Dreary Ball, Kyle, you'll get all of the rare pets leveled up just through summons. Don't even worry about that. Yeah, the Wing Lion is really strong, even utilizing it right here, because the Wing Lion is one pet that has a very, very high utility across every classification. So with strength, intelligence, and the agility, the Wing Lion works incredibly well, which is the reason why definitely you want to build out the Wing Lion. And I wonder some other formations in here, because Lucretia is just getting toasted. And I'm sure when we look, the Lucretia they're using is probably built out massively, which is exactly what I figured. Some of the reason why we're dying out pretty quick is because of the builds in there. So even here, Lucretia built out with all of those stars, guys. That's another 20, if not higher, engraving on Lucretia. And again, we can get this to work. It's just going to take time. So I mean, look at all of these guys. They really, really built out Lucretia at that point. And even the pets were much higher. I think we can get it to work. I'm going to swap back to the old artifact. And again, we knew going into this that it would take a long time to get through this content, because this is what it is, guys. When you're running a 300 level deficiency, it is just the time. It is the time to get there. I have Halos up to Legendary. Should I build him Rigor for Damia? Honestly, Halos still has a lot of utility as a buffer. Either one of those you're going to do incredibly well with. Either one of those, again, still have a lot of utility. If you can borrow Halos, you could build out Damia, but also vice versa. If you have the ability to borrow Damia from someone, you can build out Halos. And again, both of them are going to see a lot of utility in AFK Arena, and they do. They do see a lot of utility, in the game and a lot of utility in the game modes, which again, either of those, Haseb, you're going to find utility in, and you're going to find places within formations. That's no help for new players as they never build old. And that's the thing, Marco. That's what I'm saying. There needs to be something for new players, even for older players that might not have all of the heroes, where one thing I want to see is the formations. I think they really need to edit this formations, especially with the available formations, that you can filter this. And I think that would be one of the absolute game-changing things for players. If you could go through and filter this out, let's say I exclude heroes that are legendary or below, or mythic or below, or whatever it may be. This, as much as I love the formations and utilizing the formations in here, it needs to be adjusted. It needs to be adjusted. Some of it does need fixed. But that's a whole nother part that they could definitely work on in adjusting that part of AFK Arena. But again, just making the older heroes cheap to build. You know, that when you're starting to get to 2 teams, 3 teams, 4 teams, 5 teams, you have the ability at that point to fill up a lot of the slots with older built heroes at a much lower cost. I think it would be nice. It's never going to happen because it would screw the Elder Tree over. Hero swaps, they probably will. I mean, we've done it before. We've seen it again. Same sentiment, old, maybe sell swap scrolls. Yeah, and that's it, John. I hope they give us something again to go through. I'm very slowly pushing through chapter 36. That's awesome, Raphael. Again, we know it's a grind. We know it is a very, very big grind depending on your heroes. So when it comes to the campaign, guys, there's really two ways to look at it. And we have said this before. Number one, it's going to be like this. It is going to take an absurd amount of time to make progression. Going through here, running multiple game modes, but going through here and just farming over and over and over until the RNG factor works. Or the second way is levels. So if you go in here and you level up the resonating crystal, so instead of being at 752, if I was at 852, or I believe 925 is the top, either building out more heroes or leveling up the resonating crystal much higher is the only way you're going to make progression in here. My choice at this point, because I'm not focusing on power leveling right now, is just the RNG aspect of trying this over and over and over again, just like we've seen with the Thorn Cheese. It is really the big thing there. Imagine Faction Tower clears without, yeah. And that's it, Shadow. So even when you look at a lot of the older game content, or even, chapters, 20 plus, 30 plus, whatever it may be, there's a point those chapters were out before we had the Awakened Heroes. Now, it does make it a lot easier to go through those chapters. Because if you have one or two of the Awakened Heroes, again, it does make it a little bit easier. Join super late. Oh, what's going on, Voids? Lucius, Belinda, Namora, Shamira. Yeah, exactly. So if you could swap any of those, it would not if you swapped one for one. Yeah, and I think that's what it should be, guys. Again, if they gave us swap scrolls, again, let's say every 90 days. So once a quarter in a patch, whatever it may be, you got a swap scroll. I think it would be cool. Even if how they have the dailies and the weeklies, I wish they added in monthlies. I wish we had monthlies. So even let's say once a month, if you did, X amount of things, you could go ahead and pick up a scroll, possibly a swap scroll every single month. Something of that nature. That would be really cool. What's going on, Alfred Us? I got so much useless heroes like the original Belinda with 9 furniture, 60 engraving, and that's it. But Al, that's where everyone, and I know a lot of players are stuck. You have so many resources sitting in heroes that you're never going to use again, that you really don't use, that you don't see anymore, that you don't use anymore. I would love to see at that point that they give us the ability to actually swap out some of those. Sorry, guys, so we're reaching towards the end of the stream. Let me hop over and do the viewer giveaway. So we'll do the subscription giveaway in here. I love doing this every time. The membership gifting, and let's do a couple this time. That'll pop up in just a minute. And like I said, I think that I didn't put the sound on. I think at this point I probably didn't put the sound on. We didn't see the first subscriber, but there we go, guys. There is the gifting of the memberships. Again, I love doing this every single time. So congratulations for everyone who does get the gift membership. 50-8 in chapter 50. We're gonna make a lot of progression, guys. It's gonna take a long time. So Zothamias, Marco, Raphael, Voids, and Camille, congratulations on the gifting of the memberships. Again, I love doing it. I love giving the memberships back. It's really, really cool to see all those little hippos when you guys are in chat, when you guys are leaving comments on the YouTube videos, everything like that. We see those little hippos. You are welcome, Raphael. It's really, really cool to see. And also now I'm starting to see a lot more than just the regular white block ones, which means you've gotten the gifting membership more than once, which is really cool. Again, I love doing it. I love doing the give back. So I'm hoping that Lucretia can get through here. No, it's going to take some time, guys, but absolutely. So we're going to see, again, this week should be the awakened version of Sophia. I want to see what does come up. How did I get it? So Voids, it's 100% random. That's the big thing, Voids. Anyone, when I do the gifting of the membership, I can't choose who it goes to. It goes to random people that are in chat. So whether you joined a minute ago or you joined an hour ago, doesn't even make a difference. The gifting membership takes a look at everyone who is currently online in chat or viewing the live stream, and that's it. It goes out there, which is really, really cool. Sorry, guys. So again, I'm going to let this grind. I want to see if we can go ahead and get through this stage. Might take a while, might time out. A lot of times it does actually time out, that it doesn't complete, but we're going to try it, guys. We're going to try to get through here. I am lonely from Indonesia. Oh, what's going on, Rona? Rona? Big shout out to Rona. Congratulations again to all of the new members of the channel. It's really cool. But again, I'm going to let this run. We're going to have to see what comes up this week. We know we have some more events that are coming. The awakened version of Sophia is coming. Going to have to do the review on her pretty soon when she comes up. As soon as we get some details, guys, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to share them all with you as soon as I get them. Sorry, guys. So that'll do it for today's video or today's live stream. Thank you guys for joining me on our Sundays like we normally do at a regular scheduled time. It's been like 2 years we've been doing the streams, and I look forward to it every single week. It is awesome to do the streams. So again, guys, that'll do it for today's video. I'm going to let this just run. We'll see exactly if we can get this done. Really cool. I don't know if Lucretia at this E60 can get it done. But guys, again, enjoy your Sunday. Get out. Get some sun. It looks like I got to do some shopping. I got to clean up my lawn. I got to cut my lawn. A lot of stuff to do. So again, thank you guys for watching. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys next stream.